Okay, let's have a look at the bass. So with the bass, we could also really hold that in place. So I'm going to go for a 10 millisecond attack. Let's try an even slower release. So again, it's just very subtly holding the bass in a place. Okay, so let's have a look at some of these other sounds. We've got the synth bass here. Okay, let's try copying across that compressor from the bass. So I'm just altering the threshold so we're getting about 1 to 2 dB of gain reduction. Okay, let's see where we're at if we bypass these. Yeah, it feels like the front back perspective is slightly enhanced when we bring those in, which is what I'm looking for. Okay, so let's have a look at our guitar one. Okay, let's see about bringing this out a little bit. So we're going to focus the mix around the guitars and the vocal. So we'll go for a fast attack, fast release. Let's try the vintage mode again. Okay, let's try it in the mix. It's harder with things like guitars because they don't have a lot of transient information like a drum does, but we'll see if we can bring it out a little bit. Yeah, it feels like it ever so slightly comes forward. You have to be careful that you're not just adding volume, so you want to try and gain match things as much as possible. Let's try the second guitar. Okay, let's copy the setting across. Okay, again, seems to just have a little bit more life in it when I bypass it. Let's take these out and bring them back in again. So we're a little bit louder when I bring it back in, but I also feel like there's slightly more front back perspective definitely when I bring it in. Okay, so let's have a look at the strings. We could cross each other's path someday. I don't know what I want to say, but someday. Okay, let's try copying across the synth bass setting.
We could cross each other's path someday. I don't know what I want to say, but someday we could
So we can alter the ratio to get the target amount of gain reduction. So it's the relationship between the threshold and the ratio that allows us to do that.
We could cross each other's path someday. I don't know what I want to say, but someday I guess I'll just go crazy until that day. We could cross each other's path
So that helps us keep the focus around the vocal. You'll notice that when it's bypassed, the string feels like it's almost coming from the same place a bit more as a vocal, but when it's brought back in, it sits behind the vocal slightly more.
We could cross each other's path someday. I don't know what I want to say, but someday.
Okay, and bring it back in again.
We could cross each other's path someday. I don't know what I want to say.
So it helps us keep the focus around the vocals. Okay, so let's have a look at the organ and the keys.
We could cross each other's path. Crazy in some
Okay, let's try that compressor setting from the strings. Again, it just feels like the vocal also comes out a little bit more when that's brought in. Just allows it to sit on top of some of the elements a bit more. Okay, and finally, let's have a look at the funky keys.
I might know what it's all about someday. I guess I'll.
Okay, I'm going to treat this as I did the guitar to see if this will come out a little bit.
I might know what it's all about.
Okay, so let's go back and play the mix a bit and bring these in and out. So what you're listening out for is the fact it becomes a little bit more three-dimensional when I bring these in. So when I take them out, it feels a little bit more 2D, a little bit more flat. And as I said, the front-back perspective is enhanced when it's brought back in. It's subtle, but it's there. So just slightly more front-back perspective when these compressors are brought in. Now this mix, I think, is already kind of semi-baked. So there's a lot of processing that's already been applied to the stem. So it's already in a pretty decent place. So it's not necessarily as obvious as it would be on a track that was literally being mixed from scratch, but it's definitely there. Okay, so now we've set a nice foundation for the mix. Next up, we're going to have a look at the brand new module in Neutron 3, which is Sculptor.